So that second and last activity for the night, 36 mark question. Be mindful of this. Don't go beyond 36 minutes. March, June 2023 exam. Hopefully, I've already assigned it to myself. Too many things open here for me. PM. March, June 2023. Okay. I think I started some work there earlier today. Let me remember the past exams. ACC doesn't publish sessions A and B. This pre-March 2023. Oh, okay. Sorry. Go back. That is not available anymore. If I close it and I come back, I won't see it again. So you don't have it. PM, past and practice exams. March and June. (2023). Yeah, start exam. Okay. All right. These are exam instructions. Next. All right. Here I am in the PM exam. I'm starting, or this is my second section C question. For each ingredient, soybeans and sugar, calculate the following variances for the month of November. 3 marks, 3 marks, 3 marks, 3 marks. Calculations are not too common in PM, but I've got 12 calculation marks. Half of 12 is 6. If you can do a good job and score 9, 10, that's lovely. Hopefully in class, you and I should be scoring 12 over 12, but that's not the essence of the exams. If you can score more than 6 over 12, you've done a good job. For each ingredient, soybeans and sugar, calculate the following variances for the month of November. These are planning and operational variances. Revision. You and I learned that planning operational variances, I've got to take my original budget. I've got to take my original budget, but must be flexed. I've got to compare that with my revised budget, also flexed. And I've got to compare that with actual results. The difference between the two budgets, original and revised, is the planning. And the difference between the revised and actual is the operational variance. That's revision point for you. If you don't remember this, go back and watch the recorded lectures. Quickly, don't spend too much time on that. Quickly, and practice questions. Do these calculations for each ingredient, soybeans and sugar. Friends, at this point, I have not even read the question. But why am I answering this? Because I am planning. Soybeans and sugar. These are the materials. Okay. I'm expecting to see things about material price, material usage, and all of that. Oh, sometimes I don't like this about computer exams. Vegan is based in Zealand and manufactures a wide range of non-meat and non-dairy products, which it supplies to retailers. This is its mission, to produce high-quality, cruelty-free products sourced from local ingredients. Vegan uses a just-in-time system and holds no inventory. Its best-selling product is soya milk, and for the month of November, production levels were as follows. Budgeted to produce 440,000 units of the soya milk, but ended up producing 480,000. Friends, revision point. Multiplying by actual 480,000 units is what we call flex budget. We saw that in Greenwood Co. one moment ago. The main ingredients used in soya milk are soybeans and sugar, both of which are grown within 50 kilometers of Vegan Co's premises. Vegan Co markets its soya milk on this basis, making it appeal to customers committed to caring for the environment. Extracts from the standard cost card per unit of soy milk for November are shown below. To produce a unit of soy milk, let me put down some structure here. Original budget. For price. And then for quantity. Then revised budget. For price and for quantity. Now, extras from the standard cost card per unit of soya milk for November are shown below. We use 200 grams, which is 0.20 of a kilogram. The examiner was kind here. Watch out, price is given to you per kilogram, and the quantity is given to you in grams. In PM, you must know, you are expected to know that 1,000 grams make 1 kilogram. So 200 grams will be 0.2 of a kilogram. Please note that. Here the examiner was kind. Soy milk price was budgeted at 5.9. Sugar price was budgeted at 1.8. To make a soya milk, 0.2 of a kilogram of soybean was required, and 0.012 of a kilogram of sugar was required. Vegan Co used 94,000 kilograms of soybeans, so actual. Vegan Co used 94,000 kilograms of soybeans. I'm reading the scenario. And 5,280 kilograms of sugar in its actual production of soya milk in November. The actual cost to Vegan Co of soybeans in November was 5.7 per kg. 5.7 per kg, and the actual cost of sugar was 1.9 per kg. I'm showing you an approach. You may not have to do what I'm doing, but when you practice, you realize that maybe what I'm doing works for you, or something else works for you. Hopefully what I'm doing works for you. Now, the market price in Zealand for soybeans decreased by 10% in November, but for sugar, increased by 20%. Now, listen, this was due to an unusually colder winter, which had a positive impact on soybean crops, but a negative one on sugar crops. The purchasing manager is responsible for negotiating prices with customers, with suppliers. Please, PM candidates should realize that colder winter is outside the control of the purchasing manager. So that is the examiner telling you that the budget for price has to be revised. Look in the scenario, I'm reading. The market price in Zealand for soybeans decreased by 10% in November. So it became only 90% of the original budgeted price of 5.9. So the examiner should have just have told you that because of the winter, blah, 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 budgeted price fell to 5.31. He said it dropped by 10%. But for sugar, it increased by 20%. Revised budget for price of sugar. It increased by 20%, so 1.2, if you like 120% of the original price, 1.8. So because of the cold winter, which is outside the control of the manager, the price of sugar shot up from a budget of 1.8 to a budget of 2.16. The story continues. Vegan made a change to the standard mix at the beginning of November, reducing sugar to 10 grams per unit in order to comply with new government legislation. Now, complying with new government legislation is outside the control of our managers. When the government brings in a new law, look, everybody must obey. Governments are powerful. There are laws, whether you like a government or not. There are laws you must obey. So, because of the law, Veganco made a change to the standard mix of at the beginning of November, reducing sugar to 10 grams per unit. So, sugar, the revised budget for sugar is 10 grams. That is 10 over 1,000 kilograms. So that's 0.01. Am I right with that? Quantity revised for sugar. Yes, instead of 0.01 to 0.01. To try to maintain the consistency of the milk, Veganco also decreased the soybeans content from 200 grams per unit to 190 grams. So the usage for soybeans also reduced to 190 grams. And 190 grams as a fraction of a kilogram is 0.19 kilogram. Do you know what I'm trying to do? All I'm trying to do is that the numbers I need to put together to get my variances in line 1, line 2, line 3, I'm putting them into one place for myself. And I'm saying that that may not necessarily be what you will do. But if you practice, what you must do will come up to you. None of the above changes to prices and quantities were effected in the standard cost card for November, which is prepared by the accounts department and updated twice a year, despite both the purchasing and production managers stating that this is not the frequent enough. End of story. Now, what I have done in the exam hall is to put these numbers into perspective. So now I can look in the original budget for each of the materials, ingredients. Soybeans. Original budget equals, we will use 0.2 kilograms to 0.2 kilograms at a price of, what have I done? Okay, 0.2 kilograms at a price of 5.9 to produce each one of the 480,000 kilograms, 480,000 units of soy milk. Question says the actual production was 480,000. So flex means the price per kg times the quantity, times the quantity per unit is multiplied by 480,000. This has been revised to using 0.19 at a price of 5.31 to produce each one of the 480,000 units. Actual results. We had used 94,000 kg, paying 5.7 for each. At this point, I've set myself up to calculate the planning variance for soybeans, price and quantity, and then the operational variance for soybeans, price and quantity, to answer material price planning, material usage planning, then material price operational, and material usage operational. If I calculate for each one of them, I'm getting 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Then if I do the same thing for sugar, I'll get equally 1.5, 4 times. With what I have done, I want to try something. I'm not too sure, honestly. Let me just try this. Because I use this formula, if I go to sugar, let me copy this and see. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Friends, it's worked for me. Look at what has happened. Let me double click in this. You see the way I pick my numbers from down there. Computer-based exams. These numbers are picked up for me already. You see? I got it. Original. Budgeted to use 0.012 at a price of 1.8. Multiplied by 480,000 units. I'm using a computer to advantage. So here too, I'm going to Control C to copy, Control V to paste. I will Control C to copy, Control V to paste. It has automatically copied my numbers, my formula, because I've arranged them this way. In your syllabus section F says employability and technology skills. These are not things I've taught you in the classroom, and nobody will teach you in the classroom. But these are the skills that are being talked about today. All right. I've got these numbers for sugar also. So now let me answer the question. For each ingredient, soybeans and sugar, first, I want to do the operational variances. So I want to answer requirement II, material price operational variance, and then IV, material usage operational variance. I want to do this first. II and IV. So what price we should pay versus what price we did pay. Friends, if you've forgotten this, go back to the classroom notes and videos. Those simple questions we solve, do them quickly and be in a hurry to come back to this one. After doing them quickly, get in a hurry to come back to these ones. Operational, here we have operational variances here. Revised is the budget. Actual is the actual. Oh, this highlighting didn't highlight for me. Interesting. Okay, I think it only highlights in the question page. So let me rather bold it first so that I can focus.
So I'm lost. My internet went off. I just came back.
Yeah, I realized you just came back.
Yeah.
You benefit from the recorded lectures. And not only that, you benefit more when you try to practice it yourself. I'm calculating the operational variances and I'm revising with you that is the difference between revised budget and actual result. And this is what we use to assess performance of the managers and not the planning variances. Let me do this here. We should pay, that's revised. Soybeans. We should pay a price of revised $5.31 for each one of the kilograms we actually bought. We actually bought 94,000 kilograms. So each one of the 94,000 kilograms should have been bought at a price of 5.31. But each one of them was bought, each one of the 94,000 kilograms was bought at 5.7. Let me do that again. We should have paid that, but we did pay for each of the 94,000. We did pay times 5.7. What's happening with mine? Okay. Okay. 94,000. Okay, 5.7 times 94,000. There's something going crazy here. Why this? Why the blue screen? Okay. Let me go to next and come back there again. Okay, let me scroll through this, come back. Friends, you won't see problems if you don't try. All right. I don't know what happened there, honestly. So this equals the 94,000, we should have paid 5.7 for each. Sorry, we did pay 5.7 for each. Yeah. Can I copy this formula? Control C, Control V. No, that will not work. I know why it will not work. So I do the same thing for sugar. Interesting. I do the same thing for sugar. We should have paid revised a price of 2.16 for each one of the actual kilograms of sugar we bought. 5,280. But for each one of the 5,280 we bought of sugar, we paid 1.9. So let me score 3 marks. Material price, operational variance for soybeans, bigger minus smaller. We spent more, so that's adverse. For sugar, bigger minus smaller. We spent less, so that's favorable. Spend less than a few seconds to format these cells. This is not like Microsoft Excel. Please note that. I go here and I select the last but one. All right. So these are my variances. I've just scored 3 marks. Is that 3 marks? Yeah. No. So for soybeans, 1.5. For sugar, 1.5. So I've just scored 3 marks for the material price operational variances. For each ingredient, I've calculated material price operational variances. So that's 3 marks, 1.5, 1.5. Now let me do the material usage operational variances. For soybeans and sugar, I asked myself, what quantity should we use for what we did versus what quantity did we use for what we did? So, revised, soy milk, we should have used 0.19 kilograms, producing each one of the 480,000 units produced. Something went wrong there. We should have used 0.19 kilograms to produce each one of the 480,000. But we did use 94K. We have used bigger minus smaller. We have used 2,800 kilograms more than we should have used. I value that at the revised price of $5.31. We use more, so that's an adverse variance in dollars. 2,800 in kilograms. Sugar, revised budget was, we should have used 0.01 of a kilogram to produce each one of the 480,000 of the product. But we did use 5,280 kilograms. We have used bigger minus smaller. We have used 480 kilograms more. This 480 kilograms in dollars must be valued at the standard price of 2.16. We use more, so that's an adverse variance. Friends, my time on Zoom is ended. Let's check out and come back and do the other variances also. That's the planning variances also. Let's score another 3 and 3. Please, let's come back for our last round of 40 minutes for the night.